Wait a minute. What the? This is so... I love how nondescript this place is. Like, this could be a dentist's office.
Yeah, it's really low-key outside. You can't tell really at all, and that's why I love this place, the location for it. There's a lot of normal businesses here, but this was kind of spec'd out this way before I bought it.
Do your neighbors know that this exists here?
Yeah, they do. They're really cool with cars.
Really?
Yeah, they are. The next door neighbors love cars, and then these people are pretty cool too. Yeah.
First of all, this, my goodness.
Best car in here, dude.
Yeah, very historic, very important car.
You drove this one.
Wow, yeah, I drove this one.
Yeah.
Wait, you bought it?
I bought it from USA office, yeah.
You're like the HKS #1 ambassador. Ichiban.
Man.
#1.
Trying, dude. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, what is this place? Is this like a man cave or?
Yeah, it's just like a glorified man cave. I was storing everything with like storage shops, and we were just paying a mortgage to storage shops. So I figured might as well get my own place. I got this place before the boom of COVID of 2020. So we picked it up in December 19, and then started filling it with crap promptly.
So do you have like a theme besides? It seems like mostly black cars. Like, do you have like a theme when it comes to collecting cars?
No, I love everything. I like a lot of stuff that I couldn't afford when I was a kid, and then some stuff that I had when I was a kid. So, I mean, if it's a good driver's car, I love Mopars, Porsches, JDM. I'd say those are like my three loves. But I mean, I just like all cars. So I don't have like one brand or it needs to be supercars or hypercars. I just love everything. And that's good for me.
I'm assuming you drive all of them too.
Yeah, well, I try to drive as much as I can. So I start everything almost once a week. So I just want to make sure everything keeps fluids moving, it doesn't get rotten. But I try to rotate everything out at least once a week.
Did you drive this on the street to Barrett-Jackson?
Yeah, I drive this car a lot on the street. It's street legal. So when HKS did it, they put power windows in it, hooked up the tail lights, brake lights, even the reverse lights work on this car, which I thought was really cool.
Can we take a look at this one? Because so we did a brief video with Masa from HKS at SEMA.
Yeah.
But what's amazing to me is you are the caretaker of this vehicle. You understand the significance, and you're just a fan of JDM cars, and now this is your car. This is so cool that this is the actual car instead of building like a tribute car.
I particularly love HKS because I think they take a very OEM approach to everything. It's not just, in America, we're like an assembler of parts, right? This one's bottom end, this turbo kit, this standalone. And I think it's so cool that they just do everything, literally from valve cover to oil pan. And when we just went to Japan and I got to see the manufacturing facility, it was incredible. Like I knew it was incredible before, but I had no idea how much attention to detail went into all the stuff that they do there. I knew it would be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that insane. So went there, I got to meet the president. We sat with him for about an hour and chatted about the car and how significant it was to him. And, I was super inspired when we left. So actually, when I'm not here anymore, I'm going to send this car back to HKS. It's going to go back and live there. And that wasn't something that we made arrangements for. They were okay with me just owning it. But seeing the museum and all of the historic pieces that they've had, I think it was really cool that they sold me the car, but it's going to go back to Japan.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding, dude.
Wait, so this is like something in your will?
Yeah, it's done. Like, it's going to happen. So
what? God forbid something happens. Yeah. This gets into a container or gets flown back.
Yeah, it gets flown back to Japan. You put the money aside, and pending containers, I'll keep checking prices as long as I'm alive.
Oh, you mean you have money aside for this to ship back?
It's all set.
And it could be whatever, 40, 50 years down the line.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, hopefully longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after we left, I was like, man, it just belongs. There's like a real aura of that place. I know you've been there before.
Yes, yeah. So, especially because it's at the base of Mount Fuji, it is so beautiful looking there, and it's very industrial. I mean, they don't just do tuner cars, right? It's so much industry.
Everything, yes.
So then, what's crazy to me is, when I say caretaker, you're legitimately the caretaker for this right now. Yeah. But the fact that you want to donate it back to HKS is just so crazy to me. That's so cool.
Yeah, I never really planned on selling the car. So, what's going to happen? Someone's going to fight over it. If my wife and I aren't here, it's just the two of us. And I just thought seeing all the cars in the museum was really inspiring. And they really take their history and their lineage very serious. So I just felt like it was only appropriate. So it was never going to be for sale before, but if you want to see it in 40 or 50 years, it'll probably be at the HKS Museum.
So then the history of this is this was their demo car?
Yeah, so they took delivery of this car brand new. This was their parts development car for all R33 work. So all the jigs were made on this car. It went to Tsukuba. It set the Tsukuba lap record, you know, sub 57, which was a huge deal at the time. I mean, especially in 1996.
No aero.
No aero.
Tire technology that was like not there.
Big power and just like a big set of stones driving the car. I couldn't even imagine, especially with some of the cars that are doing it today, they're so fast with a modern aero, modern like sequential box. So it went sub 57 at Tsukuba, and then they took it to Yatabe, and then they broke the 0 to 300 kilometer an hour world record. And that option video is so cool where they do it because every other car in the field was like 22 seconds, 21 seconds, and this car was like 1758, I want to say. So it was like 5 seconds faster than its nearest competitor. And this is the car, it's not a tribute to that car.
So you drive this on the street.
Yep.
Take it to shows.
Yeah.
What else do you do with it?
I just enjoy it. Well, one day we're going to take it to Apex and shake it down and put it on a track again. I would love to drive it on the track. I go to the track pretty frequently, but I mostly just enjoy telling the story, and there's a lot of HKS fans out there, and I think it's really cool to get to share the car with people.
I'm sure they would like to appreciate it because they're in town. HKS USA is in town, and people like myself would love to see this run again. And it was honestly an honor for me to park next to you at Barrett-Jackson with my R32 that also has a HKS 2.8 liter.
Yeah, your car looks great, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, dude, all the new old stock parts.
That means a lot coming from you.
That was awesome.
So let's keep going down the line. This is funny because this is probably HKS's newest demo car that they sold.
Yes, yeah, I would imagine it's the newest one they've sold. So this was actually built at the USA office, but a bunch of the guys came from Japan to assemble the car for SEMA. It seems like they bring a bunch of people from Japan whenever they go to SEMA recently. Yeah. So they did the wide body kit there. It's basically all HKS, every part they offer for this car. And it was really cool when I bought it. I thought it was gonna have 20 or 30,000 miles on it, but it's got 6,000 miles. They never really drove it.
It's a brand new car. Yeah, I put like 5 of those miles on it.
Yeah, it looks rowdy when you drove it.
RWB?
No, so this is a 911 GT2 tribute, the 993. So the first GT2s were actually 993s.
That's RWB.
This is an RWB. This car was built at Technical Made in Japan.
This is not a real GT2, but it's a tribute car.
It's a tribute car.
Got it.
It's Abertine green metallic.
This is the thing that tricks me because I think the 993, I'm assuming that's the only one that had bolt-on fenders. Or it was like
993, I believe so. A bolt-on fracture from the factory.
From the factory, yeah, right. Yeah. So when people call out Nakai-san for bolting on fenders and they think it's like an ugly look or whatever that he made up, it's not.
No.
This is something that Porsche came out with.
Yeah, and especially like when you look at some of his narrow body, like 964 stuff with the molded kits, I mean, no one should really say anything because they're no wider than these cars. He just liked that smoothie look, and he was really restoring crashed Porsches in the very beginning, from what I understand. He was taking cars that were totaled and kind of bringing them second life. That's what that German like acronym that he uses means. It means second life.
Oh, really?
It's right here is like second life or afterlife.
Got it. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to say that either.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, so I mean, he was taking totaled cars and building them back up again. So, I mean, people can say what they want.
That's the thing that I always say about RWBs. He's taken a car that was pretty much ordinary. It would blend into the crowd and made it extraordinary.
Yeah, I think they're amazing, dude. I've loved them forever, maybe before they got hyped.
This one got named then?
Yeah, this is Walther. I actually thought this was like an old German man name, so I was kind of bummed in the beginning, but it's actually, I think, after the firearm company. Maybe like, oh, it's all black look is kind of why he named it that. But the owner that had this car in Japan, this was built at HQ in Japan, and he tracked it pretty frequently on the crazy like 15.5 wheels. And yeah, I have some really good shots of the car at the track, and we've communicated a little bit. He's a really cool guy.
You have to do the endurance race one day.
I want to do the endurance race. Man, the Idlers endurance race looks so sick, man. I would love to.
It would be fun, you know, because a lot of people don't understand that these were meant for the track. They weren't meant to be show cars.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
there's nothing wrong with the people that build these and use them for show cars, but this is definitely meant for the track.
I'd love to go take it around the track one day and rip it around and see how it does. I think it'd be phenomenal. The guy did really well with it. He just recently came out to Arizona for a build and then signed the hood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then we're gonna redo some of the interior and kind of make it more personalized, maybe for how I would have done it.
This is already crazy, and I just see something that's so insane. You have a box. You have the Demon box.
The old Demon crate, yeah.
Oh my God.
So this was a $1 option when you bought a Dodge Demon. And believe it or not, some like 400 or 500 Demons didn't get ordered with this. So Chrysler had a huge surplus of them after the car sold, which they ended up, I think, selling to the public, or a bunch of them came out for sale. But I mean, for $1, you couldn't beat it. I thought that was so cool.
That is so neat.
And then what a lot of people don't know is it's a little weekend drag racer. This styrofoam setup, you unscrew the sub that's in the car, you pull the box out, it's a quick, big like disconnect, and then you put this entire foam pallet in the trunk of the car, you put your skinnies in it, your tools, your jack, and you can take your car to the track with this one kit and make it kind of a weekend drag racer.
I didn't even see this part of the garage. Like, I feel like I was so focused on the HKS cars. There's so many cool cars. So let's try to run through these semi-quickly, because I could literally talk for an hour for every one of these cars.
Same, yeah, so just like prompt me to keep going if I talk too long.
SRT4.
It's probably one of the most important cars in here because this is the first probably sport compact car I bought. I was entranced by these. I went to the dealership when I was still in high school, saw all the colors lined up. They're like $17,000 new.
Wait a minute. Why does it have an ACR badge on it?
Because Dodge Neons were the first ACRs. We have ACR Vipers because the ACR American Championship Racer was the first series that Dodge raced with Neons. So everyone thinks the ACR came from the Viper, but it actually came from the Dodge Neon.
If you had that car, I mean, at the time, there was not that many cars on the road, I feel like, that could beat it in a roll race.
No, dude, they were fast.
They were so fast.
Fast, and then Mopar ordered they had their different stages you could buy. So this is actually a Mopar Stage 3 car. So you could have like a modified 16G on it. And if the dealership did the install, you kept your factory warranty. So 400 horsepower, little sport compact, factory warranty, which I thought was really cool. And this car was a dealer installed Stage 3. Yeah, it's like really impressive. Yeah, front wheel drive, you know? And I mean, for $23,000.
Barely keep the tires on the road. Oh my God.
Early to drive. A lot of torque steer, dude.
So then this is the Demon.
Demon. This is actually the first new car I ever ordered. And I've been a big Dodge guy for a long time. I think these cars are super rowdy. It is a total mullet. It's a rental car unibody with a giant engine in it. But there's just something super exhilarating about driving it. And I think they're really historic cars for what they were doing at the time.
I love these. We drove these all day, basically. Oh my God. This is it. This is the jam.
Yeah,
this is the king.
Yeah, Viper ACR Extreme. It's 2016. I love this car.
Does this have the zero treadwear tires?
This has the Kumos on it, which are basically zero treadwear, yes.
But it actually says zero treadwear, right?
They say ACR. They're actually like, I think it's right up here. So you got the custom ACR thing, and they only do a couple production runs a year of these tires. They're kind of hard to find. Right. But it just kind of like fades at that 25 series. So you have like one really hot lap on you, and then that's about it. So your first lap is generally your best lap with this car. And I bought this car to track, actually, and then now with, I think how many got twin turboed, et cetera, their values have skyrocketed for stock ones. So
yeah, because this is not stock. This is aftermarket.
this is bone stock.
Oh, this is...
Yep, this is the Extreme package. Comes
No
with this
way.
extended lip splitter. Yep.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Comes with the extended
Wait, it comes with this too?
Comes with these canards, and then it comes with the removable fender vents here, which are really nice. They reduce front end lift, and you can adjust the factory coilovers. I'll show you.
And it's manual.
It's manual. Fixed aero, manual monster. Get my light out and show you. But once you remove those fender vents, you can adjust your compression rebound without taking the tire and wheel off.
That is ridiculous.
This is all factory from Chrysler, which I just thought was so cool.
How often do you get to drive this one?
I actually just took this to the track. I went out with my buddy and his nephew, took his nephew around. This car, this is hands down one of the most gnarly track cars ever created from the factory. It is lightning quick at the track, and just fixed aero, analog monster.
Can't believe that. Manual transmission, so much power too, and naturally aspirated.
NA, man. And then we have the even nastier version of this car over there.
I'm not even gonna. Oh my God. Okay, I just peeked real quick, but really, really clean R34 GTR.
Yeah, this is a Motorex car. This is one of the 17 Fed legal Motorex cars. Funny story, I'll make it quick. I was at a work conference, a buddy calls me and says, hey, he worked at a dealership, and he said, we did a buy bid on the Skyline and we passed on it because they wanted too much. So I said, yeah, what do you have? He said, it's an R34, but it's a Motorex car. I said, what color is it? He said, it's black. And I was like, dude, send me pictures. Send me pictures, wired the money, and the rest is history, dude. It's a 2001 V-Spec 2. So after I got the car, there was little paint things here and there, just small, like little things that couldn't be paint corrected out. It only had 32,000 kilometers when I bought it. It still has really low kilometers, but my buddy Dan at Hoagie Shine ended up respraying the whole car. We pulled all the glass out of it, so we did like an OEM, like Concours style restoration, new old stock trim. I wanted to make the car as clean as the interior was. So it's just factory.
If it's Motorex, does that mean this had a mile-an-hour adjustment?
So no, this interesting story of this car is that this guy that owned this car, I found him. He's the only owner I haven't talked to. There's 2 owners before him. He was one of the guys that like stole his car back in the middle of the night. When Motorex started to fall apart and the NHTSA was like, hey, you need to give us all the cars back, he was one of the first owners, well, I shouldn't say first, a large group of owners that went and kind of took his car before anything got done. And then I'm sure you know the NHTSA gave bond releases to all the Motorex cars. But I thought that was a really interesting part of this car's story, is that nothing was done to this car. It came here and it got a bond release after everything fell apart.
Got it. That is so cool. R35 T-Spec.
So dude, I actually just sold this car. It's going to New Jersey. I'll tell you, the biggest mistake I've ever made is buying not driving it. This is a delivery mile car. It has 32 miles on it. And I really regret it because I never got to drive it and enjoy it. I thought I was gonna hold it forever. And what ended up happening was I thought this was the last one, and then Nissan made another production run for my 24, and they included Midnight Purple. So I just felt like, hey, I kind of bought it. It's the only car I've ever bought thinking it might do really well. I think they'll still do really well, but I want to free up some garage space, so I sold it to a buddy. And don't ever do a delivery mile car. It's torture to not be able to drive it, you know?
We skipped this.
Oh, yeah. This is just a Saturday night bruiser. This is a 56 210. It's a 2-door. It's got a 427 big block that's been punched out to a 440. Doug Nash 5-speed. This car is really important because I grew up next to an old hot rodder, and he had all black cars. So every day I'd ride my bike over to his house after school, and he always said to me, you can tell if someone takes care of their car, but you can really tell if the car's black if someone took care of it. And that just always stuck out of my head and clearly had a weird imprint effect.
So many incredible black cars, including this Civic.
Yeah, this is an SI, it's an EM1. This is a 2000 SI. This car has 13,000 original miles on it.
This has a special place in my heart. I mean, when I was growing up, like, this was the baller car. If you had this car as a new car, oh my God.
Yeah, they were really
B16.
A B16, the first BB series motor, and just super quick. Cool. Yeah, just super rad cars. And I actually ended up buying this off of someone who's now my friend. And I have new old stock SI wheels, factory suspension, so I'm gonna return the car back to stock. Cool thing is, these were a dealer installed option, these Pia Fogs.
No way.
Yeah, so
it's so funny because it's so period correct.
It is period correct. I was gonna take them off in like the, you know, mass like restoration back to factory, as mint as the car is. But I love them. I think they're so cool.
I think it's just so funny of that era, you know? It's just that 2000 Super Street era. Yeah. So cool. E39?
E39 M5. I mean, I was the Guy Ritchie Madonna advertisement when we were kids.
100%.
It's a BMW.
Clive Owen.
Yes, man.
Yes.
So I just fell in love with the car. So yeah, I found this car out of Tucson, Arizona. One owner actually serviced it was in California. He retired to Tucson. And this car was actually serviced by Dynan. And then once I got the car, I did a full restoration on it, completely blew my budget, replaced everything. And it's now a Dynan Stage 3 car.
We're like best friends now already. Like, everything you love about cars, seriously, you know, same. Love the art car tribute too.
This is my wife's car. She tracks this actually quite frequently at Apex. And she went from never tracking a car, and this last race season, she just took second place in time attack.
I love
so super proud of her. And this is, the E90 is just like a bulletproof platform.
What a weapon. Great sounding car, high revving motor, love it. German muscle car.
Yeah, CLK63, this is a black series. So I think this car is super cool because maybe like how Integra Type Rs had like, remember like seam welded like bodies. It was different than just putting a sticker on a car, which I think is a lot of up badging today with new cars and manufacturers. So this was actual like DTM inspired Y body. It uses the same rear differential and cooler out of their like DTM cars. So it has a big diff cooler in the back where the diffuser goes. Öhlins coilovers from the factory. The first car, to my knowledge, in the United States with a rear seat delete from Mercedes, so there's no back seat in it. And I just think they're super raw, and it's just an amazing, amazing car. I love driving that car.
Is it quite the effort for you to bring out one of these cars from the top? Like, do you have to move a bunch of cars?
So yeah, it's kind of like Tetris a little bit. Maybe that's why I'm trying to like slim some stuff down that I don't drive a ton. But you know, in Japan, man, they're doing it all the time. When you look at Spoon and they've got cars literally on the roof, I don't really complain a lot because when you look at how much stuff they're putting in garages in Japan, I'm like, it's not that bad, you know?
Amazing. Rounding out your collection.
Yeah. This is my wife's car. She's really colorful.
Yeah.
This is a twilight purple metallic. This is a one-of-one car. It's actually a Rolls-Royce color. BMW will spray any car any color. So this is a twilight purple metallic M3 competition package, so the carbon roof with a 6-speed manual. Nice. And BBS is before they were trendy.
996 turbo. Yeah. Love these.
This was like the car that was in the showroom when I was in high school. I know people dog the headlights, but I love them. I think they have a great rear quarter panel. They look really cool. My buddy owned this car. He took immaculate care of it, and I love this car.
Yeah, this if you want a 911 turbo or even a 911 at all, yeah, right now, that's the one.
I think that's the bargain. They're bargain of the century, and they're really, really quick and really agile for what they are.
Love it. So this is an all-out, just rocket launcher of a car.
This is a Dodge Viper ACR-X. So this is actually like a Dodge Viper Cup car. They were only going to make 25 of these cars, but they were so popular that they increased the production run to 50. This car is not street legal. Like I said, it's a full-blown race car. And this has a 9-liter stroker in it that was done by Exotic Engine out of Reno, Nevada. So it makes about 750 rear wheel. So I've only had a couple of times out at the track, actually only one time at the track with it, but I was like 4 seconds faster in this car than I've ever been in my ACR 5th gen, which I have a lot of time at Chuckwalla, Apex, and a bunch of other tracks.
This is so crazy to me because it's still manual.
Yes.
This has got to be probably one of the fastest manual transmission cars of all time.
This car is super gnarly. Not only manual, no stability control, no help of any sort, and driving it at the track is humbling on a 315 front slick.
So you're really utilizing the aero on this thing, huh?
And a prayer, because it's so gnarly to drive, dude. Yeah, so this is runs on 110 leaded. It's 11.5 to 1 compression. It's like, it's gnarly, but it's a ride at the track.
I can't believe it. So then, what can you use this for in terms of like racing? Is this a club car?
It's going to be a club car. I can run it in time attack at my local track. I can run it in their class of GTU. So that's probably where this car is going to fall, is GT Unlimited. So stiff competition.
How does it open? Does it open like the Viper, or does it open the other one?
It doesn't open inside. Yeah, isn't that funny? But it opens like a normal hood instead.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so this third and fourth gens opened like this, whereas first, second, and fifth gens have that like hood that comes this way. So it actually looks pretty factory, just a 5th gen intake manifold. And then the factory KWs that were on it were swapped out for the MCSs, but they kind of modernized the car a little bit when the last owner went through it, and he did a really good job.
What a car. So 9 liter now?
9 liter, yep, 9 liter from 8.4. So a little over 900 horsepower.
Oh my God.
A Dodge truck motor.
That is so crazy.
And they moved the engine to, to Dodge's credit, how far back the engine is. The engine is completely behind the center line of the axle. So that's why Vipers are actually, they're a little scary, but they're actually phenomenal handling cars. You get that huge transmission tunnel to clear the Tremec trans. But they're really, in the right hands, they're a really, really comparable track car, fast track car.
And how is it for you in terms of vision? Because I know that's a problem for a lot of people driving these fast.
It's a really long hood. So I just did this race tech seat. I upgraded from the factory seat. We raised it ever so slightly so I could just see over the hood in case we do race in GTU next year. You want to see your clearance. And with the car in front of you, you don't want to scrape anybody and make enemies. So we raised it ever so slightly, and I'm going to take this front banner off just to get a little bit more visibility.
I can't believe that. So racing in GTU, only car with a manual transmission.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are like GT4 Club Sports with no restrictor plates racing GTU. There's another guy out there with an E36 M3 that's actually converted to a DCT out of a newer M car. So I will be the only guy with an H-pattern manual car.
Have you heard of anybody putting traction control on these or anything?
Some people do. I think part of I'm spoiled. I've got to take, we take the GT3 to the track, the Viper, so a lot of the cars do have stability control that we run, but there's a whole nother level of respect. Open, disclaimer, I went way faster in this car, but like my third lap out, I spun the car, and it was like, okay, this is like a unit, and it needs to be really, really respected.
Yeah, because you're running on full-on slicks, you have to warm them up.
Yeah.
325.
Yeah, 325 in the back and 315 in the front. It's almost a square setup.
Amazing.
And that took some getting used to, full slicks. I know you have a lot of track time too. I'm sure like the first day you did it, you were like, holy crap.
For me, the thing about slicks is once they go, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? And also, there's very little communication in terms of sound, right? Yeah. Well, you probably can't hear anything anyways because this thing's so loud.
Yeah, we're earplugs, so I'll find out when the slicks go, probably at the least opportune time,
So let's just round out your collection here. You have, oh my God.
This is my wife's car.
Yeah, okay, so I could tell because it's a colored car.
Yeah.
But it's a GT2 RS, oh my God.
Yeah, Miami Blue Wysick GT2 RS.
What a car. She has a matching Stanley Cup too?
Yeah.
Oh, holy.
Yeah, we actually just took this car to Apex. You got a little bit of a little kills bugs fast action going on. Yep, and then this is just the GT3 behind it that we take to the track as well. But these are super great cars.
Do you ever just look at your wife's cars and be like, man, that is a nice looking car?
Yeah, man.
And then you take it out instead.
I do, dude, and I'm like super lucky. She's really supportive of all of this, and to her credit, she always liked cars, but I probably have a healthy obsession with cars, and she is like totally loves the hobby, participates in everything with me, and now that she's tracking, it's really, really cool.
So she takes this to the track?
Man, I was so nervous because like she didn't have any track time. Although she was a really good driver, I knew she was. But man, she sent me videos and she was boogieing around the track. I was super proud of her.
This is the fastest track car I've ever driven. This thing is nuts.
It's terrifying.
I can't believe how much power it has.
It's a little overkill. I see why they're the king of like Nürburgring. I mean, but for any track minus Nürburgring, I mean, it's like a nuclear weapon out there. And it's the only car that there's a couple points in the track where I don't stay flat. I have to lift a little because I'm like, man, it's not worth it. It's just such a gnarly car, dude.
Not worth it. Amazing. All right. Got a 355?
Yeah, so this is a 355, and cool thing about this 355 is it is actually a Toyota stroker motor in this car. Whoa. Yeah, so from the information I've gathered, I had to take the cushions out, so pardon the microfiber to get a little bit low. But from what I gather, they only did Honda stuff, and there's one section of Ferrari in their catalog, and it's for a stroker engine. So stroker engine and cams. So we scoped the engine. It's not a factory Ferrari piston in there. We know that it has a lot of work. I have a huge book of stuff that got done when this car was in Japan. This is originally a Japan car.
This has got to be one of your best sounding cars.
Oh yeah, it chops like an LS. It's super cool. I love this car. It's really, really rad. I want to go through and just fix some small stuff on it.
Can we take a look at the engine?
Of course.
This is just so cool. The Japanese absolutely love their Italian cars so much.
Italian and German cars, and then they just do stuff really right. So this car is kind of a Restomod. Got the stroker engine, got the JRZs.
What the hell is that? Airbox, that is so cool.
Yeah, so Group M used to make a ton of parts for this car. They're now discontinued, but the intake, these covers here, these sill covers, The door cards are the same Kevlar.
No way.
Center console, and then the seats. Unfortunately, this has all been discontinued, but I thought it looked really rad. It really reminded me of a challenge car.
Look at this. It's so crazy how it almost looks like a factory race car.
Yeah, with the suede, and then that's part of like what I'd like to do is like, even though the dash is in nice shape, I'd like to continue the suede over to the dash.
Wait, so it's all matching seats and everything?
Yeah, matching seats and everything.
What a car.
Yeah, this car is really cool.
Look at this.
Yep, same thing. The carbon Kevlar e-brake handle.
And this, all this too?
No,
is
I
this all
believe this
factory?
is factory. I
Okay.
don't know about this strip right here, but this is factory.
Look at this.
He did a lot of OEM challenge parts on the car. The hood is an OEM challenge hood, and then the front bumper is an OEM challenge bumper, and then the rear wing is a challenge rear wing. So it was kind of like a street challenge.
Right. Street car with a bunch of this challenge race car parts, but what an airbox. Look at this thing.
I thought that was really cool. It's on a Motec now, and like I said, maps are deleted. It's map sensors, and I just want to do an engine out and restore everything.
I mean, look at all this stuff. It's just so cool to me to see all of this Japanese touch. I mean, like, so, because Group M, they normally do like a lot of Porsche stuff, right?
Yeah, and then this was, like I said, unfortunately, they discontinued a lot of this catalog for the Ferrari, but I thought the parts looked wonderful. And then this was a Cornez imported car initially. I thought it was really cool because a lot of these stickers get removed, but you got the factory sticker there from them. And then there's a guy in Cali, Das Dumped. He has a 355. And this is probably one of the coolest parts of the car. He was able to secure the 355 floor mats that it came with, or the optional ones, I should say, which I just thought were super sick, and it's really hard to find a minty set like this.
Yeah.
So it
has that pattern.
Yeah, isn't it cool? It's kind of like the oil slick pattern, the HKS, it reminds me of. So I kind of nerded out on that. I thought that was rad that he was able to secure these, and it kind of made the car proper.
Of course, it's in black.
It is, which really helped.
On proper tires too, AO52s.
Yep, on a work wheel.
So then, is this one of your track toys too?
Not yet. I haven't taken it to the track yet. Last timing belt service was done in 2020. And from what I understand of a really good friend whose dad owns a Ferrari shop locally, he just said you probably want to do an engine out before you take it to the track again. So I'm going to do an engine out, new timing belt, make sure everything looks good, and then go rip it around the track.
My goodness. I mean, this is really, really cool.
Yeah, I love this car, man. It's a really cool car.
Oh, so it came from RMC?
Yeah, it came from Danny. Nice. Yeah, this car did, and then the RWB. Danny's he's a really good friend, and we actually just got to link up in Japan. We were at the same time. So I've actually never got to meet him, and go figure, we got to meet and have drinks, thousands of miles away.
You have to check out their shop in Miami.
I have to go. I know, I really want to go, man. I'll be there soon.
TRX.
Yes.
Warning, low flying birds or whatever. This thing is.
They're good trucks, and I have a diesel that I drive, a diesel pickup that I drive daily. But man, it's going to be the last of V8 supercharged. It's an inline 6 twin turbo now, and I think it's something I wanted, and I love taking this truck to Vegas. It's a great freeway cruiser.
Love it. Last but not least,
SVJ.
Ear-piercingly loud, this thing.
Yeah, so this is a little Japanese love on this too. It's got a brilliant exhaust. So I think this is the last gnarly Lamborghini that was going to be made naturally aspirated in a world kind of hybrid assist that's coming. And I just love this car. It's poster car was like a Countach, but they're pretty hard to drive and not that practical. So this was kind of the second best thing. And I think this car's awesome. We've taken it to the track. It's been to Roebling Road Raceway. And it's a lot, their legacy is a lot better than just revving in a parking lot, which I think unfortunately they'll be remembered for,
Well, I do have to say, I'm really appreciative that A, you drive your cars, B, your collection of cars, it's so specific towards your appreciation for cars too, their performance, just so much of that. I think that's so good. Thanks. And obviously your stuff, every little square inch of every one of these cars because you're a true enthusiast versus just a car collector.
Oh, yeah.
Love that so much.
Yeah, and I think it's like, I had a guy come here one time with some mutual friends, And he saw an M5 I had, the M5 over there, and he said, I had like a newer one of these and I'd love to buy one, but you know. And I was like, I don't know, man, because he has a lot of exotics. And I'm just like, man, like that kind of ruins cars when you just want to buy something that's expensive, or, you know, I just happen, you know, that they're expensive now, but I loved this car for what it was, how raw it was, you know. And I think that really, it's the only thing that sucks about, you know, sometimes people who collect cars is that they just buy expensive stuff. And I think that kind of kills the joy of how great they can be to drive.
Well, it's a shame also that a lot of them just don't get driven, but they also don't get taken to the limit when they do get driven. And then the fact that you have so much track time and you're comfortable with pushing these cars on track, I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's been fun, and that's like where the cars are their best, right? Is what they were designed to do. This car held Nürburgring lap record for, I think it was like 2 years before the AMG GTR Black Series kind of dethroned it. But they're just awesome, man, in their best form, which is at the track and being pushed to the edge, you know?
This is the spot. So then how often do you, oh, love that, Matt. How often do you spend your time here? Are you here all the time? Or
2 to 3 days a week I come up, you know? And my office is here, I work from here.
What a view. Oh, what?
Oh, yeah.
You have my Hot Wheels.
You're damn right I do.
That is so cool.
Yeah, bro.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
That is so cool. Thanks for supporting.
Of course, man. Big purist yourself, dude, so.
Nice office, nice sim setup.
Yeah.
Love it.
So it gets brutally hot in the summer, so just run the sim in the summer to keep what remaining eye-hand coordination I have left.
Here's the view from up here. What a view. I feel like you probably need to go triples, dude.
I know. I really wanted to do triples. And if you see here, they were going to expand the AC. They had to put it up. But unfortunately, it was during COVID pricing to kind of cut that ducting out and move it up. And they wanted like 30 grand. And I'm like, you know what, man, I'm going to just do the doubles. I think that's a ridiculous price. But I would love to get a set of triples in here. It'd be super cool to have the cars almost eye level with you. But unfortunately, I think it'd be hard for me to pull them out. Kind of that minimalist footprint of these little two posts. I'm able to pull them out.
Interesting. That is a good point, because they share a middle post, these things.
They do. They share a middle post, and then you notice it's not like a traditional 4-post with the foot on the ground. Right. You're able to cut the wheel, and really, man, it's a mild 3-point turn for some cars. The 34 can get out in just a single turn, so it's really not that bad parking them, whereas I would probably have to pull it straight out with a triple lift and then put them on like go jacks and push them sideways. You
might need another building.
Yeah, it's getting really close, man.
Oh, man, I love it. Dude, thank you so much for having us. Yeah, so cool to see. I say this a lot. I'm actually blown away. I really am. I'm just so happy to see that something like this exists, and also that you're willing to share this. Oh, dude, no problem, man. No, I think it's really cool, dude, that you're doing the same stuff. You're using cars and driving them and enjoying them, and it's a rarity these days. So I followed your work for a long time, dude. It's an honor to have you come by, bro. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.